turns can be confusing. There's a 1 foot turn, there's a 2 foot turn, turns in both directions, turns from forwards to backwards, and turns from backwards to forwards. So let's turn it around and demystify turns. So let's start with an old friend, the open book turn. Now technically this is called a C turn, formerly known as a mohawk. Now this should be done on edges, and it should be on 2 of the same edges to make a C. See, it all makes sense. So let me show you how it should be done on a curve. So if I'm doing my inside edge here. So you see how I've made a C shape? So I'm making a circle. So I'm round in a C, like that. Now this is an open C turn, but you can do a closed C turn here. So I'm going to go on an outside edge to an outside edge here. But you see how my feet were closer? That's what makes it a closed or an open. Basically, this is an open position and that's a closed position. But did you see how I still was on the same circle making my C shape? So that is what makes a C turn, the shape it makes on the floor. So the C turn made a C shape on the floor, so we're going to do an S turn. Now this was formerly known as a choctaw, but this is the same, an open or a closed version, and obviously both of these you can do from forwards to backwards and backwards to forwards. So let's do an S turn. So basically it means I'm going to start on one circle and change to the other circle. So if I'm coming round here on this circle, I'm going to change to this circle, which makes it into the S shape. So if I do another one, we can do an inside here to an outside here. So once you've got your open book turn, you can start to play with your edges and work out you can do one circle and continue on a C, or you can change circles and try an S turn. So 2 foot turns, there aren't a great deal of 2 foot turns because obviously you have to kind of turn around, so you can't leave both feet on the floor unless you use a manual. So what we're going to do is the stagger turn, which is the 2 feet on the ground. But you have to go to your toe trucks or your heel trucks. So this one is you turning from forwards to backwards like that. Or you can do the stagger swap where I turn here, swap staggers, and then I'll carry on turning in my same circle. So the difference is I'm on my line turning in different directions, or I continue my circle by swapping my staggers. Now this is a really nice one because it leads very nicely into our next one, which starts to get a little bit more scary, which is pivots. And you're learning to transfer the weight from your heels and your toes. So we're getting into the realm of the 1 foot turn. Now, a lot of people call these pivots. You can also call it a 3 turn, a traveling. So a pivot, I think, comes from like a rhythm world where you can do turns here. So they're not full 180 turns. You're just doing little turns to get used to moving on 1 foot. So when they start to roll, that's when you have to do a full 180 turn, and it becomes more of a 3 turn here. Now 3 turns, I've done a video on this because it's a whole world of pain. 3 turns can also be brackets, counters, rockers, and it all depends very much again whether you're going on one circle, just like the C and the S turn. It's all about if you're moving circles and whether you're turning in or out of your circle. So I'll link that video for you. So you can start to link multiples of these 1 foot turns together. And this is when it changes from a pivot to pivots, or in the artistic world, we call these travelings. So basically what you're doing is 1 turn here, and then I'm going to use another turn to go from forwards to backwards. So this is pivots or travellings. Now this is a forward outside, which is your standard 3 turn, or you can do it on an inside 3 turn here. So you can start linking these turns together. So some of the turns I've covered in this video are quite technical, and I do have individual videos on all of them. So if you want a little bit more information, I've got a playlist called Transitions. I'm Katie from Skatie, and I'll see you next time. Bye.